Hey guys, so Mr. Clark gave us the green light to do the space race for our final project. I say we just launch into this.
Oh my god. You're dead to me.
Wait guys! This is the last project of the semester. We need to get a good grade. And I'm not ending with a borderline B+ in his class. Plus, the space race is really fascinating.
What's so great about space?
Well, this is pretty great.
I mean real space, Veronica. Who are you, Ronald Reagan?
It all began in October 1957. The Soviet Union launched a polished metal sphere 585 millimeters in diameter with 4 antennas designed to broadcast radio pulses. This satellite had a highly reflective surface that was visible to the naked eye. It was called
Sputnik!
Faith, we get it. You're Russian.
I'm just saying, I could play all the Russians in our video. Plus, my hair is as red as the manifesto. Vodka runs through my veins.
Alright, cool man, you do you. So anyways, Sputnik began the space race since the United States officially knew the USSR had the technology to virtually annihilate the entire US population. Pretty scary, right? But there was also sort of a beauty to Sputnik. Despite the American fear, the creation of this cute little satellite proved that humans could interact with the universe despite their minuscule presence in comparison to this vast matter of space.
Okay, Emily, quit being dramatic. I want to know what happens next.
Jill, Veronica. Sputnik eventually fell out of Earth's orbit after 3 months, but overall it was remembered as a success.
So you're telling me that America hadn't even begun to venture into space exploration?
Actually, they had. Before Sputnik, the Douglas Aircraft Company, an American organization, established Project RAND. Project RAND sought to create the first world-circling spaceship. However, it inevitably failed because of the limited knowledge of space exploration at the time. Despite its lack of success, RAND was the perfect platform for the Soviets to build upon.
I guess you're right about the space race being pretty fascinating.
What I find to be even more interesting is that years later, the satellite itself was not studied as much as the reactions of those who didn't expect to see the USSR make such tremendous progress. After seeing the Russian development, the US passed the National Defense Education Law in 1958 to better American education and to allocate more money towards college education. NASA was also established.
Oh, we should talk about Laika, too. Who?
Laika. Laika was the Soviet space dog that the Soviets sent up in Sputnik 2. Laika was one of the first animals in space, and was also the first animal to orbit the Earth.
My son's gonna be an astronaut.
Wait a minute. Didn't Laika burn up in space?
Well, gotta do it for production value.
Wait, hold on. You're not seriously thinking of burning my dog, right?
Yes. 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 One of us! One of us! One of us! One of us! Listen, Faith, don't you think it was a little much to burn the dog toy?
Gotta do it for production value.
Okay, well, let's talk about something else. How about the Apollo? Alright, so most of us are familiar with the movie Apollo 13, which is great, by the way, 5 gold stars. But what many don't know is that there weren't actually 17 Apollo missions, even though the highest number was 17. There were actually 15. After Apollo 1 tragically burned up, Apollo 2 and 3 were never initiated in any way. The 2 most famous were, of course, Apollo 11, when the US successfully landed on the moon, and Apollo 13, which made it back to Earth in spite of a severe explosion and the fact that most of its parts were basically made out of plastic. As you can see, the US has been exploring the stars ever since, even after the race ended. Not all were tidy and successful, of course. Why, just in 1999, a Mars probe vanished because the people who worked on it couldn't remember what unit of measurement they were using.
What's the difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit anyway?
Well, C stands for the more accurate measurement, used by the majority of countries.
Actually, C stands for can't land on the moon, and F stands for frickin' landed on the moon! President Kennedy's plan in 1961 was to put man on the moon before the decade ended. So on June 16th, 1969, astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael they were launched to the moon in Apollo 11.
Apollo? Didn't we just talk about the 17 Apollos?
15, actually.
Who cares about that when we've got Apollo 11, the mission that won the space race?
We won the space race?
You bet your apple-bottom jeans we did! We beat those commies to the moon! After 3 days of space travel, Apollo 11 reached the moon's orbit. Armstrong and Aldrin boarded the lunar module Eagle, named for the unadulterated American freedom, and landed on the moon while Collins stayed behind in the Columbia, the command module orbiting the moon.
You know, Buzz, people on Earth think they're pretty cool, but we're about to be out of this world.
Good one, Neil!
I know, Buzz.
Yeah!
I know.
Let's go to the moon!
Let's do it.
That must have sucked for Collins.
What a loser.
Now Neil Armstrong, that guy was a winner. Armstrong piloted the Eagle into the Sea of Tranquility with like only 30 seconds of fuel remaining.
Wait a minute, there's an ocean on the moon?
No, you walnut. They called it that because they thought it was an ocean, but it was actually just a basin high in metallic content. Now don't interrupt the greatness of America. At exactly 10:56 p.m. on June 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first man to set foot on the moon.
It's one small step for man.
And one giant leap
Aldrin! Bro, we've talked about this. This is my line.
Sorry.
And one giant leap for mankind!
After they rejoined with Collins back at the Columbia, they traveled back down to Earth. On the Hawaiian shores of June 24th, the Apollo 11 crew returned home to the sweet embrace of America. The race was won, the Soviets were losers, and freedom was brought to the cosmic frontier.
God bless America!
I thought vodka ran through your veins.
My soul is as free as the Star-Spangled Banner.
And your hair is as red as the manifesto.
You know what? Fight me. Let's go.
Guys,
Let's go.
all right. We're forgetting the most important thing. This space race brought new opportunities for the generation of today.
What do you mean?
How about on September 28th of 2015? They found the strongest proof for intermittent flowing water on Mars.
Yeah, okay, but how does that fulfill mankind's needs? What about my needs?
Hold your horses. This is a great discovery because right now they're recruiting people to go to colonize Mars. We can finally get off this godforsaken planet!
I'm sorry, what?
Or what about on May 10th, 2016? NASA's Kepler mission discovered 1,284 new planets.
What?
Right, great. Well, I say let's go film it.
Okay,
Let's do it.